Welcome to Positive Philter with your host, Philip Wilkerson, a podcast that focuses on friends, family, health, and career with a little self-help around the way. Please join me in this journey for self-improvement, and I hope that what I have to share will make you a better person, thus making the world a better place. Hey, Positive Philter listeners, it's Philip Wilkerson. I previously released an episode called Positively Unfiltered, and while I liked the content of that episode, I wasn't pleased with the sound, so I took it down and I'm re-recording it. Positively Unfiltered, I just wanted to get some things off my chest. So while I know that this podcast is meant as a voice for positivity, for positive thinking, I wanted to be honest with the listeners and let you know that even though I am trying to spread positivity through, the airways and work on positive thinking, I myself struggle with positivity and positive thinking myself. A lot has gone on, a lot of things I am blessed with. I got a new job at Mason. I became a member of Alpha Phi Alpha. I welcomed the birth of my son, which is the biggest one. But along with those changes came some struggles and things I'm still struggling with. Change is hard. Sometimes transition is hard. And sometimes it has you questioning who you are as a person. I've had to reshape my thinking and, think, who am I as a person, and am I good at this? And it's kind of shaking up my whole world. And with that being said, I've had to practice what I preach. I've had to, sit down and have real conversations with myself to combat negative thoughts, to, reinforce the positives that I have in my life. I've dealt with a lot of anxiety of worrying about the future and worrying about if I'm doing the right thing. I've had some, bouts of really intense sadness, just feeling a loss of certain things, not seeing my friends as much, not doing as much. And so that's why I wanted to release this podcast, is I want to let you know that even though people put on I would say not front, but put on an appearance of being positive, does not mean they do not struggle with the same issues that everyone else struggles with. As I said earlier, I want to project a positive message to the world, but I also understand that I'm human and I need to give myself space to feel vulnerable and also allow myself to also feel feelings, and not just say, just because I'm a positive person, I'm not allowed to feel sad or anxious or worried. What I want to focus on is not sitting in those feelings too long, and also turning those feelings into productive action. I like to say sometimes what we project to the world is, an image that we'd like to hold ourselves to. So if I project to the world that I'm a positive person through this podcast, ideally I want to intrinsically become that positive person. So while I'm not saying I'm faking it till I make it, I'm projecting an image to the world of what ideally I want to be for myself. And I'm going to keep doing that. And I just wanted to have this episode to be a call, not a call, but per se a example for those out there that, feel like they're struggling with sadness or anxiety, that they're not alone. And when they see other people that are always happy and things like that, they're still not alone. It's just that what people are trying to project to the world. And, we all need to allow ourselves to be vulnerable in that space. But overall, things are really, really going well. I'm blessed. There's bigger problems in the world than having a new job, having a new child that's healthy, and joining an organization that is doing things for the world. So, all those things that I've got going, all those new transitions and changes are all good things. It's just pushing me to grow, and it's pushing me into uncomfortable places and uncomfortable spots. And through those uncomfortable spaces and spots, ideally, I'd like to grow and become a better person. And a lot of new things have come from that. And I just want the listeners to know that I'm going to try to still put out content as much as I can. I know my content has waned. I know my content with full-length, hour-long episodes have gone down, being that time is not available to me as much. I don't have as much time to give to the podcast listeners. So I try to do as much as I can when I can, and take windows of opportunity to at least, post a few episodes here and there to give the listeners something to listen to. In the meantime, please, I encourage you to go back and listen to my old episodes. When I first started this podcast, I had a lot of momentum, and I think some of my earlier episodes were really, really good. I'm really proud of them, particularly the ones with my dad, or the one I did, the few back in the day I did with Hillard. Those are episodes I'm really proud of. So, go back and check those out. In the future, on a very positive note, I have some merchandise for sale. I have some hats. So if you're a fan of the podcast, you still can represent the podcast by wearing a hat. Another thing that I'm working on is that I'm participating in a March of Dimes event with my chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha. I'll put that in the notes. And I'm raising money, hopefully, to support a good cause, which is premature births and birth defects, something that I hold dear to me. And that's pretty much it. I really want the listeners to give me some feedback. If you're still a loyal listener, I enjoy when people send me texts and let me know that they're listening. Please continue to do so. I also want to know that if you are a supporter of the podcast, share one of your old, favorite episodes on your Facebook. Still promote, keep this podcast going. This podcast is not going to go anywhere. While it might be very far in between, it's still not going to just completely fizzle out. I'm going to keep this going because I feel like, this is my voice, and this is something that makes me happy, to at least think about how I can talk and help others and do things of that nature. So please share my old episodes. Please continue to support the Positive Filter. Buy merchandise, support March of Dimes, support me. It's greatly appreciated. And hopefully this episode sounds better than the one that I had released earlier this weekend that I had to take down because I just wasn't satisfied with the sound quality. But hopefully this one sounds better. And I'm open to feedback. I'm open to topics. Maybe I can do many episodes or many topics based on what the listeners want to listen to. And hopefully I can do a full-length episode with Hillard in the near future. I know people enjoy that. I enjoy those. So, just keep a lookout. And if you are struggling with depression or anxiety or thoughts like that, don't bottle it in. Feel free to reach out to someone. If it's very, very severe and it's affecting your ability to get things done throughout the day, please go see a counselor, get some professional help. And, don't think that you're alone. Everyone has their burden to bear. Everyone is going through something. It's just a matter of how you address it, how you turn that into a positive thing, how you push forward, how you grow from it, how you learn from it. And as I said, I'm not perfect. I like to put out positivity because it helps me grow and change what I project to the world. But like everyone else, I've had some things that I'm working on for myself and things that I need to do. And I know I'm growing. So please continue to support the podcast. Please get help if you need it, and keep on doing good things out there in the world. And I'll catch you listening. Hopefully catch you listeners later for another episode. Thank you for listening to Positive Filter, a podcast that focuses on family, friends, career, with a little self-help along the way. If you enjoyed this podcast, please share it with your family and friends, and like the Facebook page, Spreading Positivity of Movement. Thanks for listening.